Galnet News Digest, 16th of July 3308. We read the news so you don't have to.
In this week's news, we're going to bore you silly.
Over the past year at Galnet News Digest, we've visited loads of exciting war zones, covering all the big news stories and still had time to enjoy ourselves. Here's our very special slideshow. We expect you to pay attention and express your amazement and envy, because that's what holiday slideshows are all about.
Way back in July 3307, we were there when the Blue Viper Club dredger turned up outside Kumo City. It didn't turn out too well in the long run, but back then it was all about the marketing of Onion Head Gamma Strain, or Helix, as they called it. After a failed coup attempt against Pirate King Archon Delane, the dredger has recently had to disappear again.
Who can forget the excitement when the NMLA turned against their own people and bombed two Marlinist starports with the loss of tens of thousands of lives? We were there, and we got this lovely selfie outside the burning Tillman Point starport in Heidi's sector RO-P B6-6. It was total chaos inside, of course. The Marlinists were going to rename some of those systems to remember their shared history. But the folk in charge of Universal Cartographics don't seem to have got round to updating the maps yet.
In September, the Cornsar system was attacked by Thargoids after Salvation apparently lured them in using Guardian materials. Once again, there were tens of thousands of casualties. But doesn't the burning station make an excellent backdrop for our holiday photo?
And a week later, we went to visit some of the quaint Thyroid Wrecks on the landable planets in Cornsar. It's perfectly possible that the landing restrictions were relaxed to allow the stricken Thyroid interceptors to crash on planets with thicker atmospheres too. But we won't know until we're also allowed to land on those planets. I don't know if you can see, but there's a cute little Thyroid sensor in the picture there. You need to be a bit careful around them. They're quite toxic, as we found out.
In December, the big story was Theta Seven blowing up the Thargoid megaship Sacrosanct, killing himself and tens of thousands of Thargod botherers. We were there, and what a spectacular sight it was. The megaship was scattered all around the system in little pieces.
In January this year, we were there for the rollout of the new starports along the Colonia Bridge. This is what the starports looked like before any of the services had been added. They chose some lovely locations for the starports, didn't they? We didn't realise the restaurant wasn't open yet. To be honest, it was a bit of a building site. Still, it's turned out all right in the end, hasn't it?
Do you remember when we found out that Emperor Erisa had been missing for a year and nobody had noticed? The NMLA had installed a cardboard cutout on the throne that was apparently about as animated as the Emperor. Anyway, they got their comeuppance when the Empire attacked them in Summerland and wiped out all the mercenaries. The Lords of Restoration were arrested, but they've not yet been charged, tried or sentenced. Sometimes the narrative moves on without all the loose ends being tied up.
To be honest, we were a bit cut up about Jade Sanderlin of Vox Galactica getting the interviews with the Admirals and Didio, Novas and Sosong. We'd have loved to have had that opportunity. Still, we went and looked at the ships where the interviews were taking place. These Imperial Interdictors are a lot bigger than you think, you know.
In June, the Artificers turned up in Upaniklis, and they decided to repair and upgrade the generation ship Golconda. It all went so well that most of the folk rescued from the Golconda decided to hop back on board, and they vanished into the wild black yonder. For now, at least.
And now we're nearly up to date. The most exciting place to be in the last few weeks has been HIP 22460, with its permit-locked Thargoid sites, the Azimuth site Fort Ash, the 3 capital ships and 2 of Azimuth Biotech's megaships, as well as a growing number of Thargoids. But the must-see location in HIP 22460 is the Black Flight megaship Overlook, with its scenic toxic Thargoid clouds and a lovely view of the nearby planets. Of course, tens of thousands of crew died when the Thargoids attacked the megaship, but you've got to be there to see how spectacular it is. We definitely recommend it as a vibrant and happening holiday destination.
And that's this week's Lavecon Live, Hutton Radio Live, Galnet News Live, Live News Bulletin. Galnet News. We read the news live, so you don't have to.